I'm back. Oh my god, I'm back. Now for you, this is just a regularly scheduled episode, but for me, it has been months since I recorded the last one. And just when I think things are back to normal, life always hits me with a curveball. So I do want to apologize to all the fans who have been waiting for this season, but I don't know. I thought I was done with stuff, but things just keep happening. I had to move again, and just been a little bit of a mess in my personal life, so I don't know. I guess I'm just trying to apologize because I know I haven't been as diligent as I once was with this series, but the one thing that you guys can be sure of is that LOTRO is always in my heart, and I am always having the intention to continue with the series and complete it. I'm still having a lot of fun recording it, so it's not like I'm getting burned out or anything like that, or I lost interest. It's just life is coming at me a little bit too fast right now, and I just don't have as much time as I would like to devote to it. But that's besides the point. Just a little mini updates that probably doesn't matter by the time you're watching this video, but I did go back and watch the last episode I recorded to kind of catch myself back up to what I was doing, but I had just made it here to Cliving, and it's about time for me to start picking up some of the quests here. Hopefully I'm not going to be too rusty on my skills here, but again, it's been months since I've played, so I might forget how to kill an orc or something. Who knows?
Our success depends upon our strength.
I weep for the people of the Norcrofts. You have seen the dangers outside the walls of Cliving, and you have seen the death that lingers at our gates. Yet the nobles living here are ignorant to these concerns and continue on with petty squabbles and bickering. There is no greater waste of time and effort than these fools. I have tried to make them understand, but they refuse to listen to any authority save the Reeve himself. Perhaps they would listen to an outsider who speaks with reason. Help resolve their disputes so that we may focus on the necessary preparations for the coming war. Alright. Now, another thing that did happen in the meantime is I had to get a new keyboard. I was having problems with my other one, and unfortunately the keys on this one, I mean, it's a really nice keyboard. I love it. It's great, but it's a little bit louder than I anticipated, and I did the best I can to mitigate keyboard sounds, but hopefully it's not too bad.
The Rohirrim will need your aid.
Greetings, I do not recognize you. You are not from the Norcrofts, meaning that you are not the culprit, and that you would be a perfect choice to help me. My name is Wolnoth. I'm a simple writer in the service of the Reeve, Athelward's Ildred of late. We have discovered evidence of an attempted murder against the Reeve by way of poison. Athelward himself has put me in charge of the investigation, and I must uncover the culprit. There are few who would admire me for my intelligence or wisdom, but Athelward saw potential in me, and I do not want to disappoint him. Will you please help me? The first step will be to question the man who discovered the poison, Reeve Athelward's personal cook, Cattlegot. Interesting, a murder investigation. That's going to be fun. Alright, let me see if there are any other quest rings for me around here. Let me pull up the map. Doesn't look like it. I guess I came in through here, so I don't remember seeing any quest rings. Okay, so let's go deeper into the city. And kind of see where that takes us. Be a quest ring here. Looks like there's a bit of a commotion. Lots of peasants gathering.
The Rohirrim have need of your services.
And uncharitable feast. I don't see that on my tracker. Did I? Let's see. Let me get some quests here. Oh, this is to accept the quest. I don't know why I thought this was to continue a quest. Anyways. Greetings. My name is Eisenid. My home is here in Cliving, but many of the people who now occupy our city are wayward farmers who have been forced from their homes and have taken refuge within the city walls. I have asked my neighbors to donate food and shelter to those who have fled and left behind their belongings. Many have given to the cause, but Giselman is ignoring my pleas. She plans to host a large feast in honor of the Reeve Athelward, an action she hopes will increase her own renown, as she values her opinion in others above all else. There are people in dire need of rations, and she intends to foolishly host banquets for the wealthy. Giselman refuses to listen to me. She believes that I am jealous of her high esteem and considers my request as a tactic to undermine her affairs. Perhaps you might sway her decision. Suggest to her that the nobles would view a banquet to be distasteful, and that a charitable donation would be viewed more favorably among her peers. Kind of like the little Yule Festival quest, you know, where they pit the rich against the poor in the winter home. You guys know what I'm talking about. I've done that event a few times on the playthrough. Alright, I got a quest ring here.
Will you aid the horse lords?
May I help you? I am busy with preparations for an important banquet. You attempt to convince Gisselman that giving to charity will increase her popularity among the nobles, more so than her feast. Well, I had not considered this. Oh dear, you are quite right. When others speak of me, they should be commenting on my kindness and generosity. Time is short. Will you help me? Please speak with the butcher, cheesemaker, and baker of Cliving. Ask them to give as much food intended for the banquet to Isanid's collection instead. Alright. We're helping with some charitable events. That's nice, I guess. The poor people of Rohan, they've been suffering a lot, you know? Looks like all the cooks are going to be in this area.
Will you aid the horse lords?
More orders from Gisselman? You informed the butcher that Gisselman would like to donate a portion of her original purchase to the refugees. If she wishes to be charitable, I would be glad to help her. I will set aside a nice lot of fresh meat to be collected for the poor lot of farmers.
What
Welcome.
business have you with the Rohirrim?
Have you come for something fresh? I have a lot of good things for sale, stranger. Oh, you're here about Gisselman's order. Yes, I'm working hastily on assembling everything. You explained that Gisselman has asked for a portion of her order to be sent as charity to the poor. That is quite noble of her, and we'll have it done right away.
What business have you with the Rohirrim?
The finest cheese in all the Norcross for sale here. May I help you? You explained that Gisselman wishes to donate a portion of food to charity. Gisselman has had a change of heart? What a kind woman. And we'll be sure to send a portion of the fine cheeses to be donated on her behalf. Okay. Let me see where I can go here. So maybe in the northeast. Well, let me go back to... Let me finish up this quest chain, I guess, before I move on. Oh no, I'm stuck. Silly tent.
Will you aid the horse lords?
Thank you for the thoughtful suggestion, Kippen. You have saved me from making a terrible mistake. I have heard nothing but praise and admiration for my charitable efforts. I would not have guessed that such acts would be noticed and appreciated by others. Please accept this as a token of my appreciation. Now this kind of brings up the ever-old philosophical argument, right? In terms of charity, is it still charitable if the person is doing it for selfish reasons? I mean, if you're being pragmatic, people are still being helped, so the answer to that question would be yes. Other people view it more esoterically, if you will, where charity is a kind action of the soul, and so if the intent is your own self-indulgence, then really it is no charity at all. I guess both arguments are valid in one way or another. Got a fellow warden here. So this is the Reeves' kitchen, so assuming this is to talk with the cook about the murder plot.
Our mission is dire.
I will help you in any way I can with your investigation. These circumstances are most unsettling. I found a strange vial tucked behind the turnips in the back of the pantry. Upon further examination, we discovered that the liquid inside the vial was highly poisonous. We believe that someone intended to secretly poison Reeve Athelward's food with venom. Thankfully, none have eaten my cooking have reported illness, and I encourage you to inspect the vial for yourself. Alright, where is this file? Maybe... I don't see the file. Oh, there it is. It's right in front of me. But I can't interact with it, so maybe not. Huh, weird. I can't interact with that little file. Is it maybe up here? No. That's weird. Where's the file? I'm assuming this is it, but I can't interact with it. Kettlegots. Kettlegots. Who's Kettlegots? Is it a person? It said it's in here in the Reeves kitchen. Am I going nuts? Am I going crazy? I might be going crazy. Yeah, it says it's Kettlegots the cook. It says the vial's right next to him, and there it is. But I cannot interact with it. That's very strange, my friends. Let me get out of here and come back in. I don't know, maybe it'll refresh the actors in there. There we go. Now I can interact with it. That was weird. The small glass vial is filled with a transparent liquid. The indescribable odor causes you to feel lightheaded. What is going on? Wow. This game is behaving a little weird today. Maybe it's a little bit of lag, I don't know. Let me stop in here and see what's going on. It's a quest ring.
The Rohirrim have need of your services.
The nerve of that fool, Trumpseal. I paid for 2 candlesticks made of silver to be made, and Trumpseal, the silversmith, promised that they would be delivered to me days ago. I have no patience for excuses. I paid him well, and I expect him to keep his promise. Inform Trumpseal that if I do not receive my candlesticks, or repayment, whichever he chooses, I will have him thrown into the dungeon for taking my coin and giving me nothing in return. Alright. At least the guy's being generous, you know? He's offering either pay the goods or just give me my money back. That's pretty fair, I think.
Our mission is dire.
We are blessed that none who have eaten from the kitchen have shown signs of illness. I must resolve this treachery before another attempt is made upon Reeve Athelward, or before word spreads among his people. Who would want to cause harm to such a noble ruler? I do not know what to make of this poison kip, and I am no expert on such things, but I have never seen another like it. Fortunately, a wise man of potions and medicine, Malbiort, resides here in Cliving, who may be able to aid us. Seek out Malbiort and ask him for counsel on the matter. There's a silversmith.
I hope we will find aid in time.
I understand that Ordwacer is angry about not receiving his candlesticks, but I simply cannot make them without the proper moldings. I was expecting a set of moldings sent from Edoras, but have received no shipments for many days. Please speak with the quartermaster and see if he knows when my shipment of molding from Edoras might arrive. Looks like we're gonna go on a wild goose chase here, where one person's gonna give me one excuse after the other. So here's the herbalist, I guess. Although I don't see him. Maybe he's up here somewhere. There he is. Oh no. Melbiort lies wounded on the floor, unmoving. That doesn't look good. There's a lot of blood. And a knife. Melbiort has perished from a series of wounds. So certainly not a suicide if there are multiple wounds. You There's a knife right there. This dagger appears to fit the size of the wound and is covered in blood. It could still be a suicide, you know, it's not unfeasible that he stabbed himself multiple times and then fell over, but seems very unlikely. Looks like we've uncovered murder. I love a good murder mystery. By the way, they just came out with Forensic Files 2. Do you guys remember sitting in bed watching Forensic Files and it seemed like every episode that came on was a rerun? Well, they came out with Forensic Files 2 and I saw the first season and it's been really fun. Yeah, I switched my stance on accident. Okay. Sorry, I was checking something here on my skills bar.
What business have you with the Rohirrim?
Candlestick moldings? Are you mad? Are you not aware of the orcs assaulting men along the road? I had no shipments arrive from Edoras for quite some time, nor would I expect any but the most urgent of deliveries. Unless you manage to convince every orc from here to Edoras to leave us be, I would not expect your moldings to arrive hastily.
Dunlendings rally to the banner of the White Hand.
No moldings? This is terrible news, but I expected as much. If I return the payment, I will be unable to provide for my family. And if I'm thrown into the dungeon, I'm in worse condition still. I beg you to reason with Ordwaster. I know that he will understand if you reason with him. I will grant him a discount upon his next purchase and craft an extra candlestick for him when I have the moldings. If you would speak with me, I'm sure we can negotiate things further.
What business have you with the Rohirrim?
You were sent seeking answers, and you return with a dagger. You describe Walnut and the scene you encountered in Milbart's home. This must be the result of murder. It means that we were on the correct trail, but losing Milbart does not bode well for us. He could have been the key to understanding this poison, and now he lies dead. Thank you for your help thus far, Kippen. I must ponder other avenues for us to consider. So, looks like we got 3 quests here opening up to question different people.
Will you aid the Rohirrim?
I would like you to acquire more information from the cook who found the file. Kitchen pantry should be restricted to most townsfolk, and anyone suspicious entering would have been noticed. Ask if anyone who has been within the kitchen as of late should be investigated further.
Our success depends upon our strength.
I am familiar with the type of dagger discovered in Melbart's home. It is a common tool among the Irid, the riders here in Cliving. I suggest that you head to the training area near the mead hall and question Captain Theodmar about which of his men might be without their daggers.
The Rohirrim have need of your services.
Malbjorn's neighbor, Ondestal, spends a great deal of time watching people come and go along the roads. Perhaps she may have seen people who had entered Milbart's home before he was attacked. Visit her outside her home and inquire as to who or what she may have seen. Lots of investigating to do.
What business have you with the Rohirrim?
No candlesticks and no repayment? Unacceptable! I am calling for a guard. A discount? If this is not a trick, then it changes matters entirely. I suppose I could agree to wait for a while longer if Trumsil plans on accommodating my future purchases. I shall visit him later to negotiate. Thank you and receive this for your trouble. Alright. We helped solve a neighborly dispute here. Still haven't made it to the mead hall yet.
What brings you to these lands?
The kitchen is restricted for most commoners. On occasion, Athelward's advisors or the riders are invited in for a meal prepared or to borrow some ingredients. No one has entered that would arouse suspicion. But then again, I cannot imagine anyone who would want to harm the reef. The only people normally in the kitchen are Edora and myself. Eldora is a young girl who helps me with the cleaning in the kitchen. Yet she seems to be acting strangely as of late. Sometimes leaving the kitchen without notice. I'm not quite sure what to make of her behavior. LOTRO. The cook's aide. I will say that when it comes to murder like this, men are more likely to do something more violent, like a stabbing, as we saw in the herblorist's home. But women are more likely to do something a little bit more distant and detached, like poisoning. So maybe J.R.R. has some questions to answer. Those are the sorts of facts and comments that you get from me when I've been watching too many Forensic File episodes, like I was mentioning earlier. Anyways.
What business have you with the Rohirrim?
My work seems much quieter now that some of these trivial disputes have been settled. It is such a shame that noble blood was shed. Worry not, I merely jest. Perhaps now nobles might consider the desperate situation that we find ourselves in and look to their neighbors as allies rather than enemies. The guard has more important matters to attend to than solving squabbles. You have my thanks, Kippen.
What brings you to these lands?
As I thought, most citizens of Cliving would have had a difficult time sneaking into the kitchen unnoticed. This kitchen servant, J.R.R., seems rather suspicious. I will keep her in mind as a potential suspect, or at the very least, she may have witnessed something that could be of help to us. Good work. So we still gotta question more people.
The Rohirrim will need your aid.
Hello, traveler. May I ask a favor of you? I am worried about a young man named Randgar, who lives on a farm outside of Cliving. I have heard countless stories of crofters coming under siege from fearsome orcs and other beasts, and I pray that Randgar remains yet safe. I care deeply for Randgar, but my father would not allow me to see him. He knows that Randgar is poor and believes he is unworthy of our concern. Please visit his farm and ensure his safety. I love Randgar, but I would rather he flee to Edoras than come harm for my sake. Little love story. Hopefully it has a happy ending and we don't find another corpse.
Our mission is dire.
You must be new to town. Welcome. You want to know who has been seeing Malbiort? Well, he offers treatment and advice to so many, from small children and pets to the Reeve himself. I myself have not seen him since early afternoon yesterday. Prior to that, a few people visited him. A young girl who works in the kitchens, my god. One of Thildmar's riders, and that old fool Winglefool. Winglefool's in particular had seemed very troubled and has been visiting almost daily. That seems to be all I can recall. I hope that was of some help to you. So, the cook's assistant is sounding more and more familiar, really. But we need to investigate this other guy, too.
Our mission is dire.
On this, I'll discuss several people who saw Malbiort before he passed, but this Wigfugol, in particular, struck her as most unusual. I wonder what old Wigfugol discussed with Malbiort before he met his end. We need to go question one more person. Where are they? They're all the way in... I think they're going to be up there. Let me come this way. Talk to the captain of the guard. You know what? Whatever happened to the epic? Where are we on that? Oh yeah. That's the ward in the mead hall. So we should be able to continue with the epic pretty soon here. It's a pretty epic mead hall here. One of the more epic ones we've seen in Rohan thus far.
Will you aid the horse lords?
One of the men in my command, Swiftthorn, reported that his dagger had gone missing, not but a few hours ago. I have been rather lenient with Swiftthorn on the matter, for his mind is clouded with grief. His elder brother was slain by orcs just outside of Elthangles. when Athelward gave orders that we abandon the defenses there in order to protect Cliving. Swiththorn is a good man. I hope he does not harbor ill feelings towards the Reeve or his fellow riders. So a possible motive here, as revenge for his brother's death, based on the decisions of Reeve Athelward. Very circumstantial and not very convincing, but still a motive nonetheless. Reeve Athelward, at your service. I have many concerns. State your business and waste not my time. What goes on in this area?
Thank you for your help.
The Norcrofts are the grazing lands of Rohan, flat and treeless, and they have been subject to burning by frequent orc raids. They are my responsibility. The Thanes of their own settlements are inexperienced and need my guidance if they are to successfully protect their people. Thane Mildrith distrusts you.
You have done well.
I am sad to hear it, but I cannot blame her. Oh, the impetuousness of youth. I wish her son had not besmirched my honor, but I could not allow such a challenge to go unanswered. A sword trial was the true means to settle the matter, and the boy lost. I am sorry for that, but I do not else. I hope his mother comes to understand that my hands were tied, though I know the grief of a parent is a sharp and lasting thing. Why take Siflod to ward?
You have done well.
Mildrith is too overcome by grief to do right by her daughter, let alone her town. I can better provide for Siflod now that her mother can. It was simply the right thing to do. It is my hope that in the future, Mildrith and I can come to an agreement that will allow for the care of Siflod to be in more satisfactory fashion.
Welcome to Cliving, friends from afar.
I'm Athelward Reeve of the Norcrofts and Thane of Cliving. My house and hospitality is yours while you stay. Athelward listens as you relate the reason for your visit, and a cloud crosses his face. Oh, Mildrith. What happened to her should not have happened to any lady of Rohan, losing first her husband, and then her son. I should have been more understanding of the boy's youthful boldness, but he called my honor into question. The sword trial is the customary means of resolving such disputes. I did not know his wound would fester in such a way. I would have it back if I could. Taking young Siflod as my ward seemed the kindest thing to do, but I can understand a mother's grief may make it seem otherwise. I will answer any question of yours, and you are of course free to see Siflod. If it is not too much trouble, could I ask you to help Cuthred, captain of my guard, with his duties after you have spoken with Siflod? Alright, where is she? Is that her? No, that's Mildred. Where is she? Somewhere in Cliving. Alright, I'll go find her outside then, presumably. Okie dokie. Invisible horse. My favorite kind of horse. Okay.
What business have you with the Rohirrim?
Evidence indicates that the dagger belonged to Swiththorn. I am not well acquainted with the man, but I do not like what we have learned thus far. Do you suspect that he harbors a grudge against the Reeve for the fate of his brother? Perhaps we need to learn more before rushing to judgment.
Our success depends upon our strength.
I believe we are getting ever closer to solving this mystery, Kippen. There are 3 primary suspects that we must consider. The soldier Swiththorn, the cook's assistant, Eldora, and the old man, Wigfugel. Each was seen visiting Melbjort and may have killed him to cover their attempted poisoning against Reeve Athelward. You have been paramount to our progress in the investigation thus far. Interrogating these individuals will prove to be crucial to discovering the truth. I must leave this task to you. Swiththorn should be among the Rohirrim near the mead hall. Wigfugel resides at the estates to the northwest, and Eldora's home can be found near the west entrance of Cliving. Question each of them carefully and return to me with their response. Alright. So I think it's a good stopping point for this episode. In the next one, I'm going to continue helping out the good people of Cliving and hopefully solve this murder mystery. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time.